One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is something I never thought I would do. You want to know my secret? Hiring a cleaning company. Like, who does that? I never thought I would say that I'm going to have my house clean for me. But in this season of life, with young kids and sports and work and side hustles, I had to decide how I wanted to spend my free time, and cleaning was not on that list. Stanley Cleaning Company has given me my free time back. They come once a month, and they sweep and mop my entire house and clean my bathrooms for me, and let me tell you, it is my favorite day of the month. Coming home to a sparkling clean house and knowing that I just saved 3+ hours of my time to spend with my kids is such a mental health game changer for me. It doesn't matter who from their team comes, they leave my house shining. And the best part is it's affordable. Christine offers an a la carte menu. You can do a general or a deep cleaning, just a sweep and a mop. You can do once a month or every week, a spring cleaning or a pre-party clean. She even has a postpartum mom clean that happens while you're in the hospital having your baby, and I can attest to that. It is amazing. Give them a call today for a free quote, and I promise it will be the best self-care you can imagine. You can find them on Facebook at Stanley Cleaning Company, or you can give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. I'm Kayla Keith, and this is Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's case is about a mom who went out on her own and disappeared. Who is to blame? Probably the creepy neighbor, but why don't police think so? Someone knows something. Hello.
Hey.
We're back. Another episode
Yep.
of Missing Midwest.
I've lost count of how many
It's a lot.
episodes we're at. I know,
It's
like,
a
when
lot.
we get to 50, I'll be like, we're at 50, but we're not there yet.
We're
getting
not
there.
at 50?
Are we? I don't think so.
Of just missing?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, I don't know.
Correct.
Yeah. I've just been, started it July 1st last year. I've just been going. I don't know.
Yeah,
You tell me when we hit a milestone.
I'm the numbers guy. We're
It's
not
going
50
well,
yet.
though. April
It
was a
is.
good month for us.
It is. April's one of our best months ever, and, like, we admit that we, weren't on our social media game, really.
No.
New baby baseball season.
I haven't posted very much. That's my bad.
We were like, oh, man, we're not going to get what we need this month. And then
Baseball season is kind of rocking my world. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Our kids are 6 and 8, and we have like practice like 3 times a week and 3 games a week. And I'm like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's a
Seems
lot.
like a lot.
It's
Plus
fun.
the baby.
It's fun.
It's okay. I like it. It's
but
fun.
it's busy.
But yeah, we're still going strong. Just share it for us. That's where we're at. Like, just keep sharing it so more people can hear it.
The best thing for us has always been like personal testimony posts. Like,
Yeah,
when you make your own posts, say, I listen
No
to
paying
Missing
for
Midwest.
advertising. Like, we've done different things, like social media outreach and stuff.
The
But like
biggest
the
growth
best thing
that
is
we've
just
seen is when people make individual
when our
posts.
friends and our listeners say, hey, listen to this podcast.
Yep.
So say that to your friends, please.
And you know what? We need to do the same thing for Across America, because here we are
Yes.
in the studio. It's nice and air conditioned in here. It's
Feels
just
really good today. It's
if
hot
you
out.
have been thinking about doing a podcast, like, you got to come check
Do
it
it.
out over here. It is so
We'll talk to you about it.
nice. Absolutely. But the people here across America, I mean, Crystal and Jennifer and just everybody we've encountered, just so nice. Like,
Yeah.
we're so thankful for them. And yeah,
do
we
really
should
cool stuff
we
here.
should do a post about them.
A
like,
really
on
good
our own.
coffee shop.
Top-notch coffee shop.
Top of the
I
line
look
podcast
forward to
equipment.
Summer, when we can get back on our Wednesday mornings here.
Or
drinking
another day of
coffee.
the week.
Or any other day.
You
but
can't
like,
tell people where we're going to be, Johnny. We just did
you
this
never
in
know.
the last
We may
episode.
never come back here again. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about
What
that
part
one
of
for sure.
keep your routine?
We did talk
Well,
about
you
that
didn't
last
even
week.
listen to my advice.
We did
Keep
talk
yourself
about
a
that. Was that
mystery.
missing or murdered? I
Keep
think it was
yourself a
murdered.
mystery.
It was murdered. We talked about last week.
Yes, if you're not subscribed, Murdered Midwest, we talked about a case where this guy was like killing people because it's a murdered podcast, but he was waiting until like women were like on their way to work or he knew their routines. And I was explaining that I keep myself a mystery. Nobody knows the exact gas station I'm going to be at 7:47 because I go to different ones. I keep my routine. I mean, it's a little neurotic, a little psychotic, but I could just call it preparedness, awareness.
Speaking of the Murdered Midwest, our exclusive content, if you subscribe, you get access to almost 40 episodes at this point. Not quite there, but almost a 40
episodes.
exclusive.
It's only
bonus
$10
episodes.
a month.
Yeah, $10 a month.
$10
And you
a
got
month
a
is
whole
like
bunch
your
of-
coffee.
Yeah.
Which used to be, you used to listen to things, they'd be like, for $5 a month, it's just one coffee. But now, it's probably with prices, one coffee is $10 a month.
Pretty close.
I bought a $7 cup of coffee the other day, and I was like, never, ever, ever, ever again will I do that. I could not believe it was $7. But yeah, prices are a little crazy right now.
Speaking of the Murdered Midwest podcast, though, I did want to make a note and give a shout out to Chicago. Chicago is our third biggest city in terms of downloads. Kokomo, our home city, representing number 1. Indianapolis, a lot of friends and family down there. And then Chicago is number 3. So we wanted to put up some exclusive content for Chicago listeners. We have now done our third Chicago serial killer for Murdered Midwest.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of nasty people
this
up
one,
there.
The one we did.
A lot of people missing from Chicago. A lot of killers up there.
Yeah. The Murdered Midwest episode that we just did yesterday is about the lipstick killer, and it is a doozy. It's from the 40s, but it is a story. It is a story. If you have not heard of the lipstick killer, you got to look it up. We did a good episode on it yesterday. Got to go check that out.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do today's episode? Do you have anything else?
I got no more announcements.
There's nothing going on in our lives.
That's it. There's a million things going on in our lives.
Not that any of them want to hear about.
Right. Facts.
The baby's with us again, so you might hear her squeaking.
I'm trying to keep her quiet.
She is not a quiet baby. She doesn't cry a lot, but she just constantly is making noises. She's just like, like she sighs and she makes little noises, which is cute in theory in the middle of the day, not at night when you're trying to sleep. But, well, I have a case today, so you want me to get started or do you want to talk about something else?
Go for it. Let's get to the case.
Okay, so we are going to Edwards, Missouri. Super tiny town, population like 1,500. It's got like 2 gas stations, that's all. What are you looking at?
The timer. We're good. Just making sure it's going.
Oh, okay. You threw me off my game.
I'm
Sorry. Edwards, Missouri, population 1,500, 2 gas stations, super tiny. I don't know a lot about Missouri. I don't think I've driven through Missouri on my way to Oklahoma. We have family in Oklahoma. I remember growing up, my mom would always called it misery.
Misery?
She said it was the worst state to drive through on our drive to Oklahoma, which she said there's just nothing there. I'm like, that's Indiana, right?
Yeah, people say
that about
people
our
in Michigan,
state.
Like, hate Indiana. Like, we're trying to go south.
Yeah, but can you imagine if you lived in Michigan and you had to drive down, like, I bet Indiana's the worst one to go through. It's probably further than Georgia, longer than Georgia.
Yeah.
Because we hate driving. When we go to Florida, Georgia's the worst state to go through. So, yeah, anyway, I know that we don't like driving through Georgia when you go to Florida. I bet everybody else from Michigan hates going through Indiana when they go to Florida because it's long. It's not miserable, though. I like Indiana. Anyway, they have no Dollar Generals actually in Edwards, but there's one, like, down the road, and everything's so spread out there. It's probably considered one in Edwards. They probably consider it their Dollar General, I'm assuming. So, I mean, it's pretty desolate out there. It's not that big. Like I said, tiny little town. I'm assuming in a little town on a highway of 1,500 people, everyone knows everybody. So we're going to be talking about Echo Lloyd today. Echo, first of all, what a badass name. Like, I think that's so cool. Her name, it's a girl, because when I saw the name, I was like, I don't know if that's a man or a girl, but Echo. Her name was Echo, and I just think that's such a cool name. She was really cool. I mean, I read a lot about her, and I heard some interviews from her family and friends, and she just seemed like a really fun... Sorry, Raylan's eating. She's going to make some little noises here. But she was super creative, very artistic. She loved doing her... They said she was always doing projects. She had just bought a house and kind of moved to Echo. She liked the lake life, and there was a lake nearby. And so she bought 10 acres of wooded property with a house on it. And...
Respect.
Yeah. And she was just kind of like out to prove that she could do it on her own. She was 48 at the time of her disappearance. She was born on May 23rd, 1972. And so she had 4 adult kids and 3 grandkids. Kelsey, Case, Caitlin, and Kylie were her 3 kids, or her 4 kids, sorry. And they were all grown and they were doing their own life. And she had recently, a few years before, separated from her husband. It was very amicable though. They still got along. He still checked in on her and everything. But so she was on her own, and she just kind of wanted to prove she could do it. She wanted to live by the water. And so she kind of moved there and was like, I'm going to do it. Now's the time. Seize the day. I'm going to move, buy some property. And she bought kind of a fixer-upper and spent all of her time just doing house projects, which kind of sounds like a dream, to live in the woods by myself and just do home projects. She was artistic, she was creative, and so she just spent her time just picking projects and just doing them. She loved to fish. Like I said, like the lake life. They said basically just really fun person to be around, very extroverted.
I feel like you would really, really, really enjoy your first day in a house like that. But as soon as night hit and you were in the middle of the woods, you'd be like, yeah, I'm out.
Probably because of what I do.
Yeah.
Which is a true crime podcast.
Yeah.
And I would be like, I need a bunch of dogs, guns,
protection. I wouldn't want to be by myself at night. You're right. But in theory, it sounded fun. She enjoyed it. She was loving her life. And like I said, everybody said she was just like the most bubbly person, super sweet. And she was living her best life. Like I said, she had been something she wanted to do, and she decided to do it. 10 acres out there by herself. Like her husband, she was still in contact with her ex. They weren't divorced. They were separated. He checked in on her a lot. Her daughter, she was very close with her oldest daughter, Kelsey. She checked in on her. They saw each other a lot.
Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I'm looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They're opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
They said in the years before her disappearance, though, she had kind of started to take a step back from her usual self in the sense of how outgoing she was and crowds of people. She had actually worked at a bar, and one of the patrons sexually assaulted her one night after work.
Yikes.
Yeah. And so she had been dealing with that, and it just kind of rocked her world a little bit, threw her off her game, and it kind of made her more cautious. And so she had pulled back, didn't like going out with big groups of people, maybe not as outgoing as she had been in the past. And her friends and family had noticed this, and they knew about it and that she was just working through it. Her daughter had said, she never really went to counseling or therapy for it. She was just kind of handling it on her own. And so they didn't know if maybe she had never really kind of processed that trauma. And that is kind of what led to the separation from her husband. And so her husband had said, or one of her cousins in an interview said, they think that they weren't going to get divorced. She was just taking some time for herself, kind of finding herself. And her husband really loved her and was hoping that she would just make her way back to him when she felt like it. And so that was kind of where she was at with that situation, with that relationship.
That's tough.
Yeah. And so it was really sad. I guess she had never reported it either. She knew who it was. And so he got away with it. Just a lot of trauma to deal with. And so she was kind of sorting through that in the midst of this new, I'm going to live by myself and, do this thing.
Right.
So yeah, her husband's just kind of waiting for her to figure things out. Her kids know what she's doing. Like I said, very close with her daughter, Kelsey. And so on May 9th, 2020, Kelsey spoke with her mom on the phone. They talked. She told her she would see her soon. Nothing was out of the ordinary, according to Kelsey. The next day was Mother's Day, which coincidental. We're almost to Mother's Day here.
A week from now?
Yeah. And so the next day, Kelsey drove to Edwards to bring her mom. She had flowers and a card. And so when she got to her home, nobody was home. And so there was no car. Her car was not in the driveway. And the house was locked. And so she figured, she's just out. So she just left the flowers and the card on the back porch. And a note that told her, hey, call me, happy Mother's Day, love you, whatever. Echo never called her daughter later that day. And so on Monday, May 11th, the very next day, Kelsey called her mom again on her mobile phone and her home phone. But the calls both went to voicemail. Nobody answered. Kelsey called her mom every day, multiple times a day from then on. This is red flag. This was red flag for Kelsey from the get-go. This would be red flag for me. If I call my mom and she doesn't answer, I immediately hit redial. What could you possibly be doing that's more important than talking to me?
My mother-in-law,
we talk all the time.
They both go back and forth.
And
all
so
the time.
it would be a huge red flag if my mom did not answer her phone or call me back. And that's how Kelsey was feeling. She was uneasy about it from the get-go. Kelsey said that she immediately thought of her mom's neighbor. Through the rest of this episode, we will be referring to the neighbor as neighbor because his name has not been released. But apparently this person had come into Echo's life shortly after she had moved to her new house in the woods. He had basically just, I don't even know the word, infiltrated her life. Wormed his way in. He sounds like a shady character. Creeper status. He met her. He lived with his grandpa down the lane in his own house. But so they kind of like became friends. You know, he was lonely. She was lonely. So it makes sense. But he somehow... And Kelsey had said her mom was vulnerable. She was lonely. She was working through some trauma. She had just split up with her husband. And he had like basically kind of taken over some aspects of Echo's life. Echo had a landline phone and there was no signal out there. And so she had bought a Verizon phone, a prepaid Verizon phone to be able to, you know, call when there was no signal. He had like taken this phone because he didn't have one. Like took it from her, which made Kelsey mad. Yeah. Kelsey was like, well, I need to get a hold of my mom. Like, phone back now. I need to get a hold of my mom. That's hers.
That's
and so he would keep the phone at his house in case he needed it.
What the heck?
He also had like taken control of like some of her finances.
Excuse me?
Yeah. And so Kelsey did not like the situation at all.
That's so weird.
Yes. And so,
not a fan of neighbor.
No, neighbor. Unnamed neighbor is a no. He was a no for Kelsey too. About 2 weeks before her disappearance, Echo had actually confided in Kelsey that, you know, this neighbor, and Kelsey said in an interview, she outright asked her mother, like, are you in a relationship with this guy? Like, are you seeing him? And her mom swore up and down that it was strictly platonic. Nothing was going on between them. They were just friends. He would come check on her. They lived out in the middle of nowhere together type thing. But Kelsey's like, well, he's a little bit too involved here. Like, what's going on? And Echo agreed. And she said, well, you know, I would like to I don't really want him around.
Yeah.
He's just one of those people that he keeps showing up. And it's like, we've all been in situations where you're on like your third fake laugh and they're still talking to you. Yeah. And you don't know what to do. And that's the vibe I got from the interviews and the stuff the research I was doing. Like, she didn't really want him there. But she didn't know how to say, get away and stop coming to my house, because he was being nice. He was checking on her and helping and stuff.
Yeah,
and
but
so
there's
the line had been crossed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a hard conversation.
Echo knew the line. Echo knew the line had been crossed, and she confided in Kelsey, like I said, 2 weeks before, that she did not want him around, and she was probably going to talk to him about it. And like, he wanted a relationship with her, she felt, blah, blah, blah. And so Kelsey was concerned. She said her mom did have a gun and was able to protect herself, so she wasn't super worried about her being alone out there. But she was like, this guy needs to back off. Like, get your phone back. He doesn't. Agree. Yeah. So that's kind of where they were at. And so as soon as Kelsey can't get a hold of her mom,
she's like, I know who freaking is responsible.
Yeah, Mr. Neighbor here. I need to talk to the neighbor.
Yeah.
And so Kelsey called that cell phone.
Let's go.
The one that, you know, she was her mom's, but she didn't have. And she said, you know, hey, have you heard from my mom? And he's like, no, I haven't seen her. But next time he said, we went to Walmart together on the 9th, that day that she had dropped off that plant. He said, you know, we went to Walmart. We're sorry we missed you. You know, she saw your flowers. So that would have been like on the 10th. He said, she saw your flowers, but I'll have her call you next time I'm over there with the phone. I'll bring it so she can call you and make sure she has signal or whatever. So Kelsey said, okay. She never called her though. And so she's not happy about this. So she calls again and she's like, hey, you know, this was on May 15th. So this is 5 days after she had dropped off the plant. She dropped it off on May 10th. So May 15th, she's like, hey, you know, where's my mom? And he was like, yeah, sorry, I forgot. She never called you. I'll have her call you later today. And she said, don't worry, I'm on my way. Like, I'm coming over.
Like, yeah, I'm done with you, sir.
Forget it. And so...
Respect.
Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home.
Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, realtor/broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118.
So she went over to his house and she asked for the keys because he had keys to the house too. And he told her that her mom had taken them from him and asked for them back, so he didn't have them anymore, which Kelsey said kind of tracked with what her mom had said. Like, I kind of want to get him backed off a little bit. So she's like, okay, well, I'm going over and I'm breaking in. She said, I'm going to call the police and I'm breaking in into my mom's house. So she went back to her mom's house. Her mom's car was in the driveway now. Okay, so it wasn't on the 10th when she dropped off the Mother's Day gift, but it is now. It's locked up, but there was no sign of her mom, Echo, anywhere. And so she checked her outside the house. She checked her she shed that she had, and she couldn't find anything. She said she actually went to her mom's bedroom window, which there was like an air conditioner, and so sometimes her mom couldn't even hear her knock. And so she went there and knocked on that window. Nothing happened. And so she ended up breaking a window and went inside. She's like, screw this, I'm going in. As soon as she got in the house, she said something was wrong. It wasn't like ransacked, but she said it was not her mom's house. It was in like, I think the word she used was a disarray. There was trash. Her mom was very OCD about being clean. She said there was trash and there was some like food with mold on it that had been left out, and, like dishes. She said highly unlike her mom to leave out anything like this. And she also found her mom's, she found cigarettes and a lighter on the nightstand, but it wasn't the brand of cigarettes her mom usually bought.
Weird.
But she said she knew that what's-his-face neighbor had kind of taken control of the finances, so maybe he had bought them.
What the heck? This neighbor guy. I don't like the situation.
But her mom's purse, wallet, ID, and cash were all in the house. However, her cell phone, the gun, her medications, and her car keys were not there, even though the car was locked.
Goodness.
Yeah. And so she's like, absolutely not. So she's on the phone with the police telling them, like, I can't find my mom. I haven't talked to her since May 9th. And something's going on with the house. She said it looked like somebody had been in the house living, but it was not her mom.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And so the neighbor actually came over.
This is in a 5-day period, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the neighbor came over while she was talking. Kelsey was talking to the police, and he was like, hey, I'm going to go check a couple places that I think your mom might have been. And she was like, okay, whatever. I'm on the phone with the police. Kelsey said she immediately told the police that neighbor boy over here harmed her mom or was holding her hostage. She said, within an hour of the police being there, she was like, you need to get to his house, check his basement.
Playing zero games.
Yeah, she's on it. She had bad vibes from the get-go. So when the police arrived, the neighbor left. And he's like, I'm going to go check some places. You know, that's what he was going to do. Police went to question him within like 2 hours of getting there. When they knocked, he didn't answer the house. He wasn't in. So they kept knocking, and they went back again later that day. And he said, sorry, I missed you. I was taking a nap.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me? Like at this point, Kelsey's like, we've contacted our family. There's friends here. Like they're getting ready to walk the property, the 10 acres themselves, and search. Like, and start looking for clues, and you, who are supposed to be her friend, are sleeping after you just told me you were going to go look? So she's not happy.
No.
Her family is not happy. There's some cousins, some neighbors, some friends. No, not happy. So they start looking. The police did like a quick look with some of the family. They found her gun in the woods.
That's not good.
No. Police told the family, though, they did not believe anything happened to her on the property or in the house, because there was no sign of a struggle. And the family was like, false. There is a sign of something going on, because this isn't how she left her house. And the family, like, just because there's no sign of a struggle doesn't necessarily mean that there wasn't something going on. Like,
so I just looked this up. It says it takes 3 to 12 days for food to mold. So if there was moldy food, I mean, it could have been 3, 4 or 5 days, whatever. But I mean, That means it wasn't tended to. She sounds like somebody that would have tended to that.
Yeah, that's
if
what they
it was
said.
hers,
They're like,
yeah.
if she would have been in this house, there's no way this moldy food would have been out. And it was a mess. Like, somebody's been here. It's not been her. Something clearly has happened. And they were like, no, we don't believe there's any foul play. Yeah. Pisses them off right from the get-go. Now, this is a small, I mean, there's only 1,500 people there. So the family acknowledges the fact that this was like a very tiny police department. Maybe didn't have the resources or the knowledge that they needed to like handle something like this. However, they have said from the beginning that this was poorly mishandled.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care how small it is. You should be able to like use common sense and be like, yeah, this doesn't add up.
Yeah. So basically the family's like, to those that know her, like, something's up with this house. The police were like, no, she's fine. So a few weeks after Echo disappeared, no signs from her. The police didn't really do anything. The neighbor, creepy neighbor, his grandpa passed away. He lived with his grandpa, I said, like up the lane, down the road, whatever you call it out there in Missouri. And they found when they, I don't know who they is. I don't know if it was the police. But Echo's medication was found in the basement.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And so Kelsey had said that she had a full hysterectomy. So she had hormones that she had to take. She had ADD medication and some anxiety medication. And all of those were found in the basement.
Like, there is no good explanation to that.
Well, Echo visited the grandpa. She would visit him and bake him. She would bake him something sometimes or take dinner over there. And so police said this is circumstantial evidence because she could have been over at the house.
Yeah, but when I go do something nice for somebody, I don't take my medications.
Right?
I'm not like, hey, I'm going to go run over and say hi to my parents. Let me
and
get
then
my
leave them
heartburn
there,
medicine.
something that I have to take every day.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
So they have circumstantial, quote unquote, circumstantial
Again, common
evidence.
sense not being applied here.
Nope. So the family at this point has doing their own research, and so they start talking to people about Mr. Neighbor here, and they hear from some women that had been in a relationship with him in the past that he was very anger issues, very explosive, very abusive, just a really bad guy. So they're obviously thinking the worst. I mean, they already suspected him from the beginning, but now they're like, we really don't like this guy. They don't know when she went missing, though. I mean, Kelsey talked to her on the 9th. On the 10th, she wasn't there. So there's like a 5-day window here where they don't know when Echo actually went missing. And so
Did you talk to her on the phone on the 9th?
Yes.
The phone that the other guy had, or she had gotten that phone back?
I don't know what phone it was. She just had talked to her mom on the 9th.
Yeah.
The plant that she had left, her daughter had left, though, it was still on the back porch, but it had been moved. And the card that she had left was inside on her mom's dresser. So that suggested that the mom did see that and did come home that day. And then on the 10th, they found a Walmart receipt with her signature on it on the 10th. And so they believe she was still alive on the 10th because she went to Walmart. And the guy had said they went to Walmart together. And then there was also a report made by the local Dollar General clerk, okay? And so
Dollar General, you said?
Yeah, it was
what
from
up,
the
Dollar General?
I
Welcome
know,
to the
Dollar
chat.
General. Dollar General is in here. So it was the local Dollar General that Echo went to frequently. And so the clerk knew her, which my Dollar General clerks would also know me. I'm there all the time. And so she actually remembered seeing her on the 10th. And she said she remembered her because of the unusual interaction that they had.
Uh-oh.
Yep. She said that she had came in and she was trying to buy a prepaid cell phone and a card because it was Mother's Day and she wanted to call her kids. She said, but her check kept getting declined. And she kept saying that somebody had taken all her money from her account and that she didn't have any money. And so the Dollar General clerk was like, well, do you want to use the store phone? And she said, I can't. There's somebody in the car waiting on me. She said she was not herself. She said she was very in a big hurry. She was distraught, acted very scatterbrained. Like she said, she was, I've seen this person before. This is the local Dollar General. I've waited on her.
Say, listen,
she's not acting
I'm a
right.
regular at our Dollar General.
Exactly.
But I'm never going there again because I'm not trying to be predictable.
That's the one predictable thing in my life. I'm going to be at Dollar General probably once a day, every day. But yeah, so the clerk was like, yeah, this was strange. And so she actually told the police about this. The police went to Dollar General, and like you would assume, and they talked to the manager of the Dollar General. The family has spoken to that clerk. the clerk said she's never been contacted by police. They've never actually spoken directly to the person that had the last known interaction with Echo Lloyd.
The police never.
The police.
The family did. The police did it.
Yeah. And so this is one of the many things. It frustrates me. Yeah. The family's obviously frustrated. And so, sorry, girl. Raylan is also frustrated. You can hear her. She's frustrated about this. So the police told the family not to go public with this disappearance. Don't post about it on Facebook. Don't go to the media, the radio, the newspaper, nothing. They said they needed to keep it quiet. The neighbor, they said he wasn't a suspect. They had cleared the ex-husband. However, they didn't want to make anyone scared to talk. So they said, like keep
Kelsey's
it quiet.
About to light their world on fire. Kelsey was playing 0 games. She's not having any of this.
I like Kelsey from everything, the interviews that I listened to and all the stuff that I have read and the Facebook page that she did in fact start. She's going to find her mom, which is exactly how I would have handled the situation. So she said she was made to feel scared though, like to talk, like she was going to ruin the investigation and stuff. But after so long, she's like, screw this. Yeah. So eventually she was like, no, we're going to figure this out ourselves. You guys are clearly not doing shit. So she made a Facebook page, made a website. She started talking, started bringing attention to her mom's case. And, she's like, what am I endangering? You guys haven't even searched the property with dogs yet. Like, you haven't done anything.
Right.
What am I endangering? Your case there's not a case to endanger here. You haven't done shit. And so she did. She started getting people talking.
1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it. Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com.
So the family fully believes that the creeper neighbor here is responsible, and the police, rather than investigating, they're kind of taking the stance of like someone's just going to slip up, which I get. There's a lot of things that,
but that's lazy.
That's laziness.
That's so lazy.
You can get in there and shake things up.
Yeah.
Put pressure on some different people. Get some searches. Like, come on. Police say they have no suspects and no person of interest.
That guy's a person of interest.
He's a person of interest to me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, what?
They said they have no solid evidence. It's all circumstantial. The family doesn't. They say they don't understand. How is he not considered a suspect? Yeah, he was with her. All this stuff. Echo's family fully believes foul play is involved. She's 5'4". She weighs between 100 and 110 pounds. Brown hair, brown eyes. She has a Let It Be tattoo with birds on her forearm, and then she has the name of her 4 children. Kelsey, Case, Caitlin, and Kylie tattooed on her wrist. The family said, unfortunately, they do believe that they're looking for a body at this point. They don't believe she's alive. They said there's just absolutely no way she would have left her family and her grandkids like that. And they believe the neighbor's responsible. And so the police are just kind of taking the stance of let's just wait until someone slips up, which that's probably going to happen. Like, loyalties change. If there's anything I know about in cases, loyalties change. Somebody that you kept a secret for a couple years ago is probably going to piss you off, and you're not going to be keeping it here in a couple years. And so I'm sure something will. Somebody knows something. That's something we say.
Right.
That's 100% true. Yeah. Somebody knows something, especially in that small town. I'm sure there's some rumors. I'm sure. I read on one part that the neighbor
gets the side eye constantly.
Yeah, Mr. Neighbor. I read that he has a drinking problem. Like, he's probably going to say something eventually. So if you hear something, say something. If you know something, so you don't have to keep secrets for people. Nobody expects that. Nobody wants that. This family deserves answers. So if you're out there in Edwards, Missouri, keep your eyes open and keep your ears open. And let's put pressure on people. Start talking. If the police aren't going to do it, we can. Kelsey is.
This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling that it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.